Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. Want to bring you guys a quick update on something that a lot of people aren't really looking at, and this is Digibyte Bitcoin chart. And we're going to look at this quick, guys. It's going to be on the 1 day, and if you guys could like, subscribe, all that, guys, I really appreciate all the thumbs up and people hitting the notification bell. You guys are awesome. So what I'm seeing here, guys, we're going to make this a little bit quicker, but what we're in here for Digibyte on the Bitcoin chart, we're in a symmetrical triangle. So what you have here are lower highs that are taking place, and down low here you have higher lows that are taking place. And guys, in this instance down here we have a really big gap, and when you have a really big gap like that, if this trend line were to break, it's going to be very powerful. The break will be, and we'll be heading down to the downside, and I have targets around 75 satoshis and 10 satoshis on the worst case, guys, if we really fall hard out of here. So those are my downside targets, 75 and then 10. So even at this 75, guys, in my opinion, it's a decent place to accumulate for the long term, because we have some support and resistance over here. We also have it here when we made a move after we had this fall down here. So what I'm looking for is support around this 75 with volume. And if we did have volume, what that would do would bring us back up, and we would test the bottom of this trend line again. Now if we got back inside and closed inside it, then we have the potential to break to the upside still. So we got to keep our eye out for that. But downside targets are 75 and 10 satoshis. Now my upside target, if we were to break to the upside here, first of all we got to get over the 200-day moving average, which is going to be a tough thing to do. But if we close up above that, so that's our first target there, which is around 357 sats. And then the next target that I would have, guys, would be around that 466 sats. And I have that due to the trend line coming down. And we also have all this cluster over here of overhead resistance for us. So we would have that spot there. So that's what we have to watch. And now down here on the RSI, our RSI is at 32. We know that 30 is oversold, but in the cryptocurrency space it can go down to 7, 8, 9 in terms of the RSI, guys. So I want you to be aware of that. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's something we definitely want to be aware of. And what I like to do, I like to go back and look at the bottoms here and see how low it has gotten on the RSI before we got a bounce. So then we would know where to potentially buy for a long-term position down around these areas where you're getting these bounces. And you can see you're getting them around 24, 27, see guys, 24. So yeah, around that 24. So we could push lower, and that run to 24 on the RSI would probably put us right here around that 75 sats if we were to go down there. So keep your eye out on that. But I always like to draw the trend line, guys, and you can see the trend has been down. The lower highs have been down. So until we break up through that and we close up above that, most likely we're not going to be having a huge move to the upside. So we have to take it one step at a time. And the first step now, since we've been kind of just consolidating on this trend line right here, our first step would be to get up above the 20 and the 50 moving averages, and then come up here and test this 200 moving average. So that's kind of our best hope right now, guys, which on the RSI we do still have higher lows that we could draw a little trend line here, and we'll see what happens overnight with that, if we break down out of it or if we're going to get a bounce off it. So that's important. And also, guys, you can mark it down here in your notebooks, because if you really go through these things and do the bullish and the bearish and how many different indicators are what, you would have to look at this volume here. Look how low this volume is. So once you see a volume spike come in here, either to the downside or to the upside, you're going to know that we're going to run pretty hard in either direction, due to the fact we had such low liquidity here, and then all of a sudden a big whale is going to come in and move the market, and those are the market makers. So these are the things that I'm looking at, guys. I just wanted to share them with you. You know, go through this chart and really kind of see what we're doing, what we're forming, write down the bullish indicators, write down the bearish indicators, and kind of see where you come out at. One more thing we can do here, we can zoom in on the daily candles and kind of see what's going on. And guys, it almost looks like here we potentially today could lose it if we close below this trend line, which we do not want to do. But this is an ugly candle, and it's getting close to closing time right there. So we're going to have to pay close attention to this trend line. Do you see how we got the bounce off it? and then we had a nice move there. Here we're breaking through it. Now say in the next 2 hours some good volume came into the upside and we got up above this trend line and we closed up here, then we'll have to wait and see what's going on tomorrow. But right now, guys, it looks like we could fall here, and you can always look for around that 238 to see if that's going to hold as support. But look at all these moving averages just pushing us down right now. So always draw your support when you see it. Let's see here, guys, horizontal. So like right in there. And I always think it's best to go off the real body closes, guys, just from what I've been going through, as opposed to the wicks, which you can look at both. There's no harm in that, but you know, guys, this is close to where we would be expecting to get a bounce, and we're not getting it right now. Do you see all this? When we came down here, this should be acting as support over here, and we're getting close to it. We're going to have to see, and that's around 245 sats. So pay close attention to the volume, guys. I can't stress that enough. Pay attention to what's going on with this candle here, and take a look tomorrow to see if we close down. We have lower highs that are forming here. All the moving averages are pushing us down. So, you know, our best hope, guys, is to hold this trend line here, which it should be a stronger trend line because of this wide gap. I was just reading about this probably 20 minutes ago, guys, and I'll have to do a study on it for you so you know. But when you have these wide gaps like that, it makes it a stronger trend line. But also that means that when it breaks, it's going to break harder, and it's going to be a bigger move. So, and that would be to the downside if that breaks. But you guys let me know down low what you're thinking about this. If you like that we did the Digibyte Bitcoin, because obviously in the space, guys, all of us were trying to accumulate Bitcoin. One second, guys, I gotta grab a sip of water here. We're all trying to accumulate Bitcoin. If we really believe it's the gold 2.0, and guys, there's only so much of it, you know, 21 million, and how many were thrown away on hard drives and stuff people can't find and everything. So in my guesstimate, I'd put it around 15 to 16 million Bitcoins. And think about all the millionaires and billionaires, and you're telling me each one of them isn't going to want one of them just to say they have one, you know, and that's besides even the use case of it and everything. But you know, if there's only so many, it can even be like a status thing of having a Bitcoin. You know how that stuff works. But I just wanted to bring this to you guys, and hopefully you like the Digibyte Bitcoin. And guys, right now we're at 249 sats. So go back, look through the targets. If you guys could like, subscribe, all that, I really appreciate it. Take care, my friends.